Well, hello class. This is Professor Shalomo Levy again, recording a video to describe the end of the semester procedure. It's hard to believe that our semester has already come to an end, but this was the summer 10-week version of the course, and we moved very quickly. Before I do, let me take a moment to thank you for being such a wonderful group. Most of you worked very hard, you did some good work, and over the course of the semester I feel that I did get to know you by your weekly essays and by your remarks, particularly to my exam questions. So it was a pleasure working with you this summer, and I hope you enjoyed the course. Now, our last assignment, which begins this week, is the Civil War debate. So we're going to end with debating the issues of the American Civil War and the period right after the Civil War called Reconstruction. We've been studying this for the last 2 weeks, and this is an important assignment. It's a 20-point assignment, so it's very valuable in terms of as a part of your final grade, and it consists of 3 parts. Just like the debate on the American Revolution, what you have to do on the first entry is to state the position of your team. And in the first debate, when we debated the American Revolution, students were assigned to one of 2 teams. Either you were the British or you were the American colonists. In this debate, everyone whose last name begins with A through K, you are assigned to the South. So you are the Confederate side in this debate. And those whose last names begin with L to Z, then you represent the North. Okay? And in that, those arguing the Southern position are going to be arguing that the Civil War was necessary and justified. Right? That for a variety of reasons, which you'll state, historical, ideological, cultural, economic, that the South felt that it had to secede and leave the United States and form its own government, the Confederate States of America. If you're the North, you're going to be arguing the exact opposite, that the Civil War was not necessary, that it was illegal and unjustified from a moral, political, legal point of view. So those, and you're going to use a variety of arguments, all the historical facts, anything from the book, anything from our documents, any outside research that you might do. I also provided some links to websites such as the PBS Civil War site, the Smithsonian Institute Civil War site, a number of videos that I recorded myself from battlefields in different places. So you could use any of those resources in making your arguments. I also provided a worksheet in Blackboard to help you organize that information, that is, to take facts and turn facts into arguments. And even where facts are involved, students could argue the significance of a fact from different points of view. So say, for instance, John Brown's attack on Harper's Ferry, there's no debate that it took place. Obviously it did, but the South might say, if you're arguing the Southern point of view, that this is a sign of what they call Northern aggression, of the North attacking the South and trying to use force to change their way of life. A Northerner would say that John Brown was an individual. He was not the United States government. He was acting on his own, and so you could argue a fact that's not in dispute, but its significance is very well open to interpretation. That debate will remain open until Sunday evening, and so you should put in the first round the opening position of your team. The second round is the rebuttal, where you respond to the criticisms made by the opposing team. And then the third round is the closing round, where you give your conclusion, you get to respond to what they said in their rebuttal about your team, and you get to put it all together. Again, the assignments are graded individually based on each student's submissions, but you still try to act as a team, help each other, and not repeat what a classmate has already said, to keep pushing the argument and pushing the debate forward. Okay, lastly, let me talk about the final exam. The final exam is only available for 2 days next week, Wednesday, August 16th through Thursday, August 17th. So you have 2 days in which to take the final exam, either on Wednesday or Thursday. So it'll be up for 48 hours. And unlike our previous exams, there will be no multiple choice. So I will tell you a little bit about the structure of the exam. It will consist of 3 essays. Each essay should take, I would say, 3 or 4 paragraphs to write a complete, thoughtful, well-supported response to the essay questions. The essay questions often have several parts to the question, so make sure you answer each part of the question. The essays are divided in the following way. Half of the exam will be devoted to the Civil War and Reconstruction, just what you're debating right now. So this should be very fresh in your mind. You should have a lot of those facts. But because we didn't have an exam just on the Civil War, the first part of the final exam is on the Civil War. And that's going to be worth 50% of the exam. So half of the exam is just on the Civil War and Reconstruction. Then it's not a debate. You could actually argue your own, give your own views and beliefs, so you don't have to be the North or the South, but you want to use all the kind of facts that you have at your disposal in writing a clear, coherent, and well-supported answer to the questions about what caused the Civil War, about the consequences of the Civil War, and that's what the first essay is going to be about. Then you'll have a choice for your second 2 essays. Each of those are worth 25 points each. So the first essay in the Civil War is worth 50 points. The other 2 essays are worth 25 points each. So for a total of 100 points, but you have 3 essays. The way those essays are going to work, they are going to be on the major themes of the course. And you have a choice. But what do I mean by major themes? We've studied a lot of events and we've covered a lot of facts. But themes would be things like economics. If I asked a question, for instance, how has the role of economics influenced the development of the United States during the period covered by this course? Well, you could talk about any number of economic issues, from the economic issues that inspired the Spanish, the Portuguese, the Dutch, and the French, and the early English to come to North America in the first place. You could talk about economic developments from cotton and tobacco to the Industrial Revolution, to slavery, obviously connected with those as economic forces that have greatly influenced the United States. Another theme might be the role of religion. We've studied a lot of religions and religious groups, from the Quakers, the Puritans, the Mormons, the Shakers. Religion obviously has been a big part of America, and you could pick any religions, religious groups, or religious events, references in the Constitution to these things. Another example of a theme of the course would be identity. Looking at American history, America is a very diverse country, and the role that identity has played in the growth and development of this country. So you might look at things such as race, gender, class, ethnicity in terms of immigration, and ethnic trends over the period that we've studied in this course. And a fourth and final example might be war itself. How has wars shaped the United States? We've studied a lot of wars, from French and Indian War to the War of 1812, the American Revolution, and the Civil War itself. The Mexican-American War also covered in this course. So if you want to say how has warfare shaped the early development of the United States up to the period of our course, then you could take several examples and construct those into an essay. So that's what you should look forward to. As I say, look forward to it, because the way I look at exams is that they are an opportunity to show how much you've learned and to demonstrate how well you understand the material. As with our previous exams, you cannot use any notes, books, or websites while you're taking the exam, but unlike the previous exams, you do not have to write all 3 essays in one setting. That is, you could open the exam, write an essay, take a break, have some milk and cookies, come back and write a second essay, or write one essay on Wednesday, the long one, and then come back on Thursday and write 2 more essays. So you can close it and open it. You can look at the questions and write it in a word processor if you want. Unlike the multiple choice, where once you open the exam, when you close it, you can't go back into it. So this one, you will be able to close it, write your essays over a 2-day period. So those are the final things that I wanted to share with you as we approach the end of the course. For those of you who are coming back in the fall, I look forward to maybe seeing you in the classroom again. And for those of you who study with me online and at other universities or going on to other things, always remember that you can still ask your online professors for letters of recommendation. I can certainly talk about what kind of student you were in this course, and your writing and your exams and the quality of your ideas, and for job recommendations about how you students who are very dedicated, very conscientious, very responsible in what they do is something employers also like to hear. So once again, and maybe for the final time, let me say thank you for being a great class. Take care and be well.